Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more real Hollywood stories that go far beyond headlines. Some stories aren't meant to be neat. They don't end cleanly. They linger. This is one of those stories. For years, no one expected him to speak again. Not after the scandals. Not after the silence. But one loss changed everything. And suddenly, Woody Allen sounded human again. At 89 years old, irony no longer protected him. Control no longer comforted him. The death of Diane Keaton shattered something he'd held together for decades. She wasn't just a former lover. She wasn't just a muse. She was the last living piece of his youth. The woman who laughed through his darkest fears. And when she was gone, the past came flooding back. This is the story he never stopped telling himself, even when the world stopped listening. It all began in 1969, far from Hollywood glamour. Not on a film set, but on a Broadway stage. Woody Allen was auditioning actresses for Play It Again, Sam. He was 33, famous, but deeply insecure. Then Diane Keaton walked in. She was 23, awkward, unpolished, and completely herself. Her clothes didn't match. Her energy didn't fit the room. And he couldn't look away. Something inside him broke open instantly. He later admitted he questioned his sanity that day. Was it possible to fall in love that fast? She wasn't impressed by his intellect. She wasn't playing any games. She laughed freely. She spoke honestly. She existed without apology. Within weeks, they were inseparable. Within months, she moved into his apartment. A strange, beautiful contradiction was born. Their relationship was built on opposites. He needed control to feel safe. She needed freedom to feel alive. He analyzed everything. She followed instinct. He tried to shape her. She resisted without fighting. When he corrected her, she laughed. When he advised her, she ignored him. And somehow, that made him love her more. But love mixed with fear becomes something else. He began directing her life, not just her performances. What to wear. What to read. How to speak. She pushed back gently, but firmly. Not with anger. With independence. And that quiet resistance scared him. Because it meant he could lose her. In 1972, everything shifted. Diane accepted a role in The Godfather. Woody dismissed it at first. A gangster film, he said, wasn't her world. But when she returned, she had changed. She had worked with legends. She had seen her own power. She was no longer his project. She was her own person. And that terrified him. By the end of that year, they broke up. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Painful. Unfinished. Neither of them ever truly moved on. 5 years later, Woody did what he always did. He turned heartbreak into art. In 1977, Annie Hall was released. And nothing in his career was ever the same. Annie Hall wasn't inspired by Diane Keaton. It was Diane Keaton. Her nickname was Annie. Hall was her real surname. Her clothes were her own. Her awkwardness was real. Her humor was untouched. The love story mirrored their lives exactly. Every joke carried regret. Every goodbye carried truth. The film was a masterpiece. Audiences fell in love. Critics called it revolutionary. But for Diane, it reopened old wounds. She relived the breakup scene by scene. Directed by the man who caused it. That year, the film swept the Oscars. Woody won Best Director. Diane won Best Actress. And inside, she was breaking. Woody later admitted the truth. Annie Hall wasn't a love letter. It was an exorcism. An attempt to understand failure. An apology he never spoke aloud. But ghosts don't leave easily. Diane stayed with him in memory. In writing. in every woman he created afterward. She never stopped haunting his work. Years passed. Lives moved forward. Careers separated. But the connection never vanished. Then in 1992, everything collapsed. The scandal with Mia Farrow exploded. Public opinion turned vicious. Friends disappeared. Hollywood closed its doors. And one person stayed. Diane Keaton didn't defend him loudly. She simply didn't leave. She stepped in when others stepped away. She replaced Mia Farrow in Manhattan Murder Mystery. Working together again felt surreal. But their chemistry hadn't faded. The film worked because they worked. Not romantically. Humanly. Two survivors standing together. Years later, the backlash returned stronger than ever. The Me Too era reignited old accusations. Studios erased him. Actors disowned their past. And then Diane spoke publicly. Just 13 words on Twitter. Woody Allen is my friend, and I believe him. Those words cost her roles. Friendships. But she never took them back. She didn't explain. She didn't apologize. She stood still in the storm. Not out of blindness, but out of knowing him for 50 years. She had seen him at his weakest. Away from cameras. Away from power. And she believed what she believed. That loyalty defined her. By 2025, both lived quietly. Public appearances faded. Time caught up with them. Then suddenly, Diane was gone. October 11th, 2025. No warning. No explanation. Woody was blindsided. He hadn't known she was ill. The loss shattered him. At her funeral, he carried one photograph. Two young people laughing in 1970. Before success. Before scandal. Before regret. Witnesses said he cried uncontrollably. Days later, he wrote publicly. For the first time in decades. Not with irony, but with grief. He admitted what he never had before. That he loved her, but tried to control her. That fear ruined what love couldn't save. That she shaped his art. His honesty. His truth. Without her, he said, he was incomplete. Annie Hall was his apology. Too late to be heard. Now, at the end of his life, he understands. You don't own love. You don't rewrite people. You either let them be, or you lose them. Diane Keaton was his mirror. She reflected him honestly, even when he didn't like what he saw. She stood by him when no one else did. And he knows he didn't deserve it. That knowledge stays with him. So was their love tragic? Or was it fate? A love meant to shape, not last. A connection that outlived romance, fame, and scandal. Some stories don't end. They echo. This was one of them. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. Like the video if it stayed with you. And subscribe for more Hollywood stories that never truly fade.